with a rental house, if you get real creative, you might sneak a couple in there. You might sneak a storage building in the back and rent that to them too. You might, I don't know, get creative and try to sell goods to them while they're in there or something. But with RV parks, it's basically a city. So any business that exists anywhere in the world, you can have in an RV park. So we just added Hunt Brothers Pizza. We got a fully licensed kitchen. So we're selling pizza and wings. We got the store selling merchandise, sites and everything. We're about to start selling those online as well. We've got storage buildings, which I know you're a fan of.
Yep.
Both lockable with roll-down doors, conventional style, and open storage for boats. And we're wanting to add a commercial meeting hall where we could have family reunions, weddings, corporate events. We've got a few corporate events lined up already.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, folks. Welcome back to the show. Today's guest is based in Athens, Georgia, and is in the RV park space, as well as some other alternative housing avenues. Please welcome Chris Biddle. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dylan. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're seeing some pop in the greater Atlanta area, so there must be quite a lot of real estate investing happening in the Atlanta area.
There is indeed. Yeah, it's always an exciting area to work in. When we started looking for RV parks, we cast a pretty wide net. 4 hours, that's the drive time we're willing to commit to. And the gem we found was 3.5 hours away, right on the outside of our range in Somerton, South Carolina, on Lake Marion. You ever heard of Lake Marion?
I have not been to the Carolinas, but that's another one. I don't know if it's north or south, but one of the two. I've had so many guests tell me it's a really great area for families. So I've even thought about it. I've never thought about the Carolinas, but man, do I have to go check it out now that I've had so many guests tell me this. I want to pivot a bit here, Chris, and ask you about how you got into the real estate space. I always like to start off asking guests how they got started.
Sure. It's a story. Part of it will sound very familiar to a lot of the audience. I was working, selling parts and equipment, and one of my customers and I got pretty close, and he got me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And that book started a lot of real estate journeys I know. We started investing in mobile homes and renovating them and renting them out, and we did some flips, and we moved to the RV park space because we wanted something that we could share with our families. So we weren't just searching for parking lot on the side of the highway, although those will just absolutely print money. It just wasn't our goal. We wanted something really special with natural beauty that we could share with our families. So that's what we found.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, the RV park space, and I mentioned this before hopping onto the podcast here, is, such an interesting space because it's really two different realms. On the one hand, it's solving the housing crisis. And I mentioned before hopping on here, I'm from northern New Jersey. We definitely feel it in northern New Jersey. Very expensive, difficult to qualify for homes up there, especially for a lot of younger people. But then on the other side, you also have RV parks can be and are ultra luxurious in many instances. And you have all types of attractions, which I've had multiple guests tell me, if you have this preconception about what an RV park is, you don't know really what the space is like.
No, you're right. It's a very broad range. There's several RV parks in the world that I could not afford to stay in because they are just ultra luxurious. So we'll get there one day. But right now we're on the more affordable side of things. We're calling our place a fishing resort. It's on Lake Marion, which is one of the Santee Cooper lakes. They're famous for fishing nationwide. They have some really large fishing tournaments there regularly. But we have got kind of a hybrid model, going back to what you said, where we've got some monthly guests, where we're solving some of the affordable housing issues, especially with a lot of people travel for work. So they might be looking for a place for 3, 6, 9 months maybe. It's really hard to find furnished places that are decent besides a motel room. Motel rooms get really old after a few days, so we're not.
I want to ask you about the concept of landlording or ownership in the RV park space versus other real estate avenues. I really like it. I'll tell you my reasons here in a bit, but I'm curious what made it so that you zoned in or narrowed in on RV parks versus so many other verticals that people often find themselves in.
Sure. So there's two completely different aspects. There's personal and business. Personal, as I mentioned, we want something beautiful that we could share with our family. Our kids love fishing there. It's just awesome. We want to hang out together where you work and have a good time with the family. The business side, RV parks offer nearly unlimited revenue streams. With a rental house, if you get real creative, you might sneak a couple in there. You might sneak a storage building in the back and rent that to them too. You might, get creative and try to sell goods to them while they're in there or something. But with RV parks, it's basically a city. So any business that exists anywhere in the world, you can have in an RV park. So we just added Hunt Brothers Pizza. We got a fully licensed kitchen. So we're selling pizza and wings. We got the store selling merchandise, hats and everything. We're about to start selling those online as well. We've got storage buildings, which I know you're a fan of. Both walkable with roll-down doors, conventional style, and open storage for boats. And we're wanting to add a commercial meeting hall where we could have family reunions, weddings, corporate events. We've got a few corporate events lined up already. So
that's incredible. I think when people hear all this and they may not be familiar with the RV park space, they may be thinking corporate meeting halls and RV parks. How does that work? But there's a real big community and it's growing and it exists and it's going to continue to grow around the RV park space. And then I've also heard this term digital nomad, people who effectively have RVs and then they travel all around. And sure, the RV park or the RV, itself, if they're a digital nomad, may be more expensive than a vehicle, but it's less expensive than a home, right? And they get to move wherever.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Absolutely. And we do have a few conventional RV sites, but we've also got most of our sites are taken up by park model homes which are mobile homes that look like cabins. So that affords us a lot more flexibility in our audience. You don't have to have an RV to come stay with us. Uh, and we're also adding high-speed internet finally at the end of this month. We're kind of
How
out in
does
the
that
middle.
work if you're in the wilderness, right?
Yeah, well, we got Starlink as we were waiting for the broadband to come in from the local company. They've been backing that up month after month after month. So we finally got Starlink, so we got it going at the end of this month.
There was a guest that I had on this show who is in an RV park, and he was telling me that T-Mobile had one too. And I was living on a ranch in Dallas previously, greater Dallas area. And so we had Starlink, and so I would use the Starlink for the podcast, but occasionally there would be issues. So I said, I really got to figure something out. So I had both a Starlink and then this T-Mobile home internet. And it was like when one would not be completely functioning, I would use the other and kind of juggle the Wi-Fi. But we made it work. I do want to pivot a bit here, Chris, and ask you about your perspective on the maintenance that's involved and also the relative degree of difficulty of RV park ownership versus some other verticals. My perspective, having talked to guests who own RV parks and also experienced investors who've done lots of flips or have done short-term rentals or midterm, long-term, so on and so forth, is that with RV park specifically, people tend to be going there to have a good time. And so they, in many cases, are already in the kind of vibe of, okay, this is going to be enjoyable. They're not looking to destroy things or, cause a ruckus versus some other verticals, short-term rentals, for instance, where you could get one person who books and then, 50 people show up and the Airbnb is now trash. So I'm curious to get your perspective on the maintenance and maybe some of the hassle that may or may not be involved.
I'll go into what you said a little bit about people trashing Airbnbs. My wife and I actually had one that we were about to open, and then the county regulations changed. We ended up selling a house, and I'm thankful we went through all that because I did all the research on short-term rentals. We were ready to open, so I've got all that knowledge to bring into the RV park world. But a lot of the times when people destroy houses for rent, it's because of a lack of communication and pricing. So you can actually price out a lot of chaos. I'm not going to say you don't want to. We don't want to be the cheapest option available. That's where people go to throw a party and trash the place. They want a one-night rental that's cheap that they can bring all their friends to. That's the ones that gets trashed. So we are not the cheapest option. People often complain to us that we're more expensive than a hotel. And we say, you are absolutely right. We're more expensive than a hotel. We're a cabin on the lake where you can go fishing. You're not looking at a hotel parking lot. So we're not in a race to the bottom. That takes care of a lot of that party issue that you're talking about.
I want to ask you about the different, I would say, within this model. So you mentioned cabin on a lake, RV park. We were also talking about potentially alternative types of dwelling units, tiny homes, and so on and so forth. Are the spaces that you're looking at or that you've already invested in combining these in a lot of ways, or do you have to pick which one you want to go with?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
We jumped straight into the deep end with our very first try. I wouldn't recommend getting into one this complex on your first try. We also rent boats. I didn't mention that. So that's yet another business we're running at the same time. The combination of maintaining 20-year-old mobile homes and then dealing with all the different marketing for the different revenue streams is definitely a lot to handle for the first try. If I had known how hard it would be, I might not have done it. So I'm glad I didn't know how hard it would be. Because I feel like our next adventure, as we keep expanding, is going to be a whole lot easier.
Now, when you're looking at opportunities for investing, as far as a RV park, but you also mentioned these other opportunities within, I would call it the land space, land development opportunities.
Mhm.
How are you underwriting these deals? Because each deal is going to be entirely different. It can be very tricky to understand how to evaluate a deal, especially if there's not active cash flow or a lot of active cash flow, if it's distressed in some way. And also too, historically, there's not a ton of data, and I don't know if there is or there isn't on some of these sites. It can be, I would say, trickier in many cases than some other investments, but maybe I'm off in that. What's been your perspective on that?
No, you're dead on. Parks, historically, it's a pretty fragmented industry. There's a lot of mom and pop operators that have been doing it for 30, 40, 50 years. And some of them don't keep great records. Some of them keep records that are private only and not for public consumption. They might not want to share their taxes with you. The records might be on a napkin with a crayon. So my advice for anybody would be to start a little small on your first one to learn. Maybe don't get one quite as complex as we got. There was a whole lot of trial and error. We've only been here a year, but we've learned a whole lot in this year. So as far as the underwriting goes, it really helped us that we had started small by buying single mobile homes, renovating them, renting them out. So we got little bits of the business, one piece at a time, and we could build and build and build until we were more confident with our skills. So I wouldn't just read a book and go out and buy a really complex mobile home park for your first investment or RV park. It is quite complex, as you mentioned.
I have kind of a niche question, and maybe don't give away all the gold, but give us a nugget here. In this space, you were talking about RV parks, we're talking about some of the other different subsets in this space. Are there ever squatters, and is it the same for an RV park as in a short-term rental type of situation?
So yeah, you'll definitely have to plan for that. Every jurisdiction in every state is different how they handle that. So before you buy the property, you need to talk to the county government and ask them how they handle that situation. So RV parks are easier than mobile home parks generally in a lot of jurisdictions because you'll have monthly agreements rather than year leases. So it's generally easier to get rid of somebody, but in our case, once somebody's been there for multiple months, it is basically the same as an eviction process to get rid of somebody. But to answer your question about squatters, no, we haven't had that issue yet.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. But I mean, I was thinking about it because my head immediately went to, well, it's not affixed to the land, right? So it would be considered, it has
Right.
a VIN number, right? And so my thinking is, well, they would just move it off the property, but it's not quite that simple. So I
It
can
depends
imagine
on-
that.
Yeah, the state, and a lot of it is people will know if their state is landlord friendly or tenant friendly. That's the key. South Carolina and Georgia can go either way depending on the county. South Carolina is generally pretty landlord friendly, which is nice for us.
Chris, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go if they'd like to learn more about your business, or maybe if they're in the Athens area, or if they're in that area and maybe they have a RV park deal that they'd like you to take a look at?
Yeah, and I'd be happy to help any young investors try to get started. So our website is relaxedretreat.com. You can see it on my shirt right here. Relaxedretreat.com. The property we bought on Lake Marion is Relaxed Retreat at Carolina King. You can find us on Facebook, Relaxed Retreat Outdoors, Instagram, just Relaxed Retreat. We're also on YouTube and TikTok. And my email, you can find it on the website. It's just info@relaxedretreat.com.
Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
It was my pleasure. Nice to talk to you, Dylan. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.